Hey, welcome into the NWGA football second round Pickem show. We have 15 teams left in the second round. We'll give you our predictions. We'll go over some of the first round games. I'm sure you guys already know the scores, but we'll recap week one. And if you want to join us, man, join us on X, Facebook, anywhere you can find us, man, and give us your picks. Mr. Birds, what's going on?
Not much, man. Just ready to talk some football and hopefully pick some Northwest Georgia teams to move on to the third round.
Yeah, we had our Player of the Year, Coach of the Year contest this past week. First year we've ever split it up into small school, large school, and we'll let you know the winners here.
Oh,
Let's go back over here.
there you go.
Small school player of the year was Zayden Cook from Chattooga, man. Outstanding year, led the state in rushing, 2,700 yards plus.
29-39, I think, was the total.
29-39.
High for
Great,
fifth all time in the state.
great season, man, for Zayden for sure. Coach of the year, man. Our first two-time winner for Coach of the Year. Small school Coach of the Year, Chad Cheatham, Fannin County. Finished 10-0 region champs, number one seed overall in the playoffs. Great job by Coach Cheatham and the rest of the staff up there. Our large school Coach of the Year, Van Spence, East Paulding Raiders. Great job he did there. 9-1, stepped into the head coaching role late in the summer, unexpectedly. Got him into the second round of the playoffs. Big, huge first round win. And our large school Player of the Year, Tay Harris, man, out of Cedartown. Outstanding season for Harris, heading to Clemson after this season. Great all-around fella. All right, man, you ready to talk about some week two?
Yeah, let's talk about them.
Yeah, we'll recap week one here if you missed anything. But Carrollton knocked off Tequila 46-7 last week. North Paulding actually put a pretty good fight down there at Lowndes, 35-17. Brunswick 43-13 over Villa Rica. Rome, man, they jumped out on Glen Academy big time last week, 42-7 at half, ended up 49-17. East Paulding, man, with a huge win last week, 52-14. Hiram was leading that game, I think, for about 3.5 quarters, man, and Kale pulled it out 48-31. Cambridge 51, Cedartown 44. Cambridge scored 21 points in the last 5 minutes of the game to upset the Bulldogs.
Wild game.
Central, big winner, 62-19 over ML King. Blessed Trinity beat Cass 41-7. Cartersville, man, hung on to beat Westminster 37-22 after leading 30-0 at half. Kings Ridge shut out Darlington 35-0. Gilmer lost to North Hall, man, in overtime. Great job by the Bobcats, 21-14. LaGrange beat Lumpkin County 48-6. Daresville, man, did a good job down at Sandy Creek. Impressive score, 48-23. Calhoun beat Spalding 31-6. Jenkins, 28-14 over Northwest Whitfield. Southeast Bullock, 35, Heritage 9. Rockmart beat Redan, 30-6. Sumter County, 37-6 over Union. Hateville Charter, 50-13 over LFO. Stevens County, 31-14 over North Murray. Ringgold, man, with a great defensive performance, shutting out Hart County 19-0. Fannin County, 41-7 over Vidalia. Lamar County, 51-10 over Dade. Dodge County, 40-14 over Chattooga. Worth County beat Coosa 54-14. Heard County keeps rolling, man, with a 45-13 win over McNair. Elbert comes back from a 13-0 deficit to beat Gordon Lee 28-13. Bremen had a chance to win the game, man, on the final play, or to tie the game on the final play. Off to Commerce 35-28. And Temple, man, with their first home playoff win ever, 40-27 over Putnam County. Dublin 63-6 over Gordon Central. And Tryon in a shootout, Slay County 45-40. And Bowden with a big 49-7 win. And that gets us to the second round. 15 teams left.
15 teams. While we're sitting here, while we went through those scores there, anything that kind of jumps out at you, or obviously Eric says upset of the night with the Cedartown game, man. I watched the entirety of that game. It was a good game. Cedartown controlled for most of the game, and then it kind of just went away, and that Cambridge team took advantage of their opportunities, and that's a tough squad. I mean, they moved the ball down the field pretty quick against a very good Cedartown team.
Yeah, I was very shocked by that game. Like I said, I had to leave and go to work with like 5 minutes to go in the game. It was 44-31 when I left the house.
Yeah.
And by the time I got to work, it was 51-44.
Mm.
And like I said, I think that quarterback is probably the best quarterback performance I've seen this year.
Yeah, he was slinging it.
Yeah, I mean, he got the ball out of his hands so quick. Had great wide receivers. Man, we got TCC checking in. Thomas County Central coming back to Berrien Stadium this year, man. After coming up here last year, I know they'll bring a huge crowd. I mean, it was almost like a home game for them.
It was a massive crowd on both sides. It was very crowded. We were both at that game. It's gonna be a slobber knocker.
Yeah, I was very impressed with the crowd they brought last year. 4.5 hour drive. I mean, they had the visitor side at Berrien Stadium packed out.
Keller said he couldn't believe his eyes. Cedartown was out of place on defense a few times and looked shocked at what happened. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it was just like it's like it caught them, and they just didn't have nothing to say about it. We're back.
I'm gonna assume that's probably a Thomas County Central fellow.
I'm thinking so. Oh man, we got two. We got no Rome folks on here. We got two Thomas County Central folks.
If you're in Floyd County Friday night, all the Floyd County teams have been knocked out of the playoffs. If you want to go watch some football, man, head over to Berrien Stadium. Rome Wolf's going to need all the support they can get. Pack the house, man, because if not, the Thomas County Central is going to pack it. Oh, man, he said they have 3 charter buses full and 3,000 tickets sold already.
Wow. Well, there's somebody's got his eyes on somebody here, Mr. Kennedy, with his eyes out.
I'm not going to spoil it, but I'm going to say I hope Mr. Kennedy can come back on here Friday night and just give me heck.
All right. Well, if you want to, we'll go ahead and jump into this week's games and look at the spreads and pick those.
Let's do it.
6A.
Go ahead. Valdosta at Carrollton. Carrollton is a 17-point favorite.
Yeah, these are two blue bloods right here. I think Carrollton's rolling. I think Valdosta is going to be a very good opponent. I think Carrollton wins this game probably by, I'm going to go 10. I'm going to say a closer game than what the spread says there.
Yeah, they got the quarterback at Valdosta, Todd Robinson, a University of Georgia commit. I think he's going to play defensive back probably in Athens. Carrollton, Juju Lewis. Everybody knows Juju. Uncommitted right now. I'm sure there's a lot of fans all over the country, man, just crossing their fingers. I like Carrollton in this one. I think the Carrollton defense is too good to allow Valdosta to score a lot of points. I like Carrollton by about that 17.
Gotcha.
Here's a game that all these people are coming to Friday night. Thomas County Central, 12-point favorite at Rome.
Man, I tell you what, I watched this game last year. I have went and looked at the records and everything. Thomas County Central, obviously, 12-point favorite on the road. That tells you something there. Um, Returning a good bit from last year, enough to be dangerous. And man, they really kind of shocked me last year with the skill and ability and the size that they had. And I think Rome has a good team, but I'm not quite sure that they're going to be able to match Thomas County Central in this one. So I'm going to have to pick against Rome here, and I'm going to go with Thomas County Central in a close one.
Yeah, I told you before we came on the air, man, I was kind of up in the air about this one. I think Thomas County Central, a good team, probably the better of the two teams, really. Only loss this year was to Lee County. Lee County, I mean, probably second best team in the state in any classification. Um, I mean, we see right here, Thomas County Central is bringing a gazillion fans with them. It's going to be like a home game for them. Um, I'm gonna go with Thomas County Central and hope Rome. I hope it creates some kind of bulletin board material for them. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think Thomas County Central gets the dub. East Paulding, man, heading south to Lee County. Speaking of Lee County,
Yeah, I think it's been a pretty good run for the 3 seed at East Paulding there. A good season. I think Lee County is just a mountain, man, and I'm not sure if they're climbing that mountain. I think they're going to give their best effort, and I don't, they may hang around for a while. I just think Lee County is the better team. It's at Lee County. I want to take them by about 2 touchdowns here to beat East Paulding.
yeah, I'm not sure how many high schools in Georgia play football. I think at what 360 maybe, just off the top of my head. I think there's about 358 of them that couldn't beat Lee County. I think Milton. I think Milton may be. I think Milton may be the only team that could give Lee County a game, and that's going to be in the bins in a couple of weeks. I think Lee stacked, man, from top to bottom, both sides of the ball. A huge quarterback. Um, I'm gonna go Lee, man, but I'm pulling for East Paulding in my heart, but man, I hope they pull it off.
Hey, I'd love to see it. That'd be a big time upset there. Down in 4A.
Cambridge, 2-point favorites at Central.
Yeah, man, the Central team puts up a lot of points, um, but I kind of fell for this Cambridge team a little bit. The quarterback was moving the ball around. I think they'll be able to match it defensively if they can, kind of control the run game, not let it get too wild. I think Cambridge is going to win this game. I hate to pick against another Northwest Georgia football team, but I'm going to take Cambridge to move on as a 3 seed here over the 1 seed.
Yeah, I feel bad because this is a Northwest Georgia football show, man. I feel like I need to be picking Northwest Georgia football teams, but man, I was sold last week after watching that quarterback and wide receivers for Cambridge. Man, he gets the ball out of his hands so quick. Three good receivers to throw to, a back that can run the ball. Pretty good offense and defensive line. I think if you like points, so this is a game to go to, man. These guys are liable to score 50 apiece.
Yep, I,
Um,
I tend to agree with you.
I'm gonna take Cambridge, man, in the shootout.
I like it.
Stars Mill at Cartersville. Cartersville is a 12-point favorite.
Um, I think with it being at Cartersville, that's a pretty good advantage. I'm gonna agree with Eric here. I think Cartersville wins this one. By 7 or less. I think it's going to be a battle. I think it's going to be a low scoring game. I could see that 21-13. I could see a 17-14. I'm going to take Cartersville at home, but I'm going to take it closer than the 12.
Yeah, I was thinking about the Stars Mill team. Is they're not your typical 3 seed. They lost the last week of the season to Jonesboro by just a few points, or they would have been the number 1 seed in that region. I think a Final Four team last year. A lot of athletes on the field.
And
That
they're going to
Cartersville,
limit
de-
possessions.
oh yeah,
Limit possessions.
that Cartersville defense is stout though. Tough to score on them. I'm gonna take the Canes at home, by 12-14. Private schools, man. Our private school get going this weekend. Whitefield Academy is at North Cobb Christian. North Cobb Christian, a 4-point favorite.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a tough game. I think North Cobb is going to win this game at home. But I like somewhere around that low margin, that 4-7. I'll take North Cobb by a touchdown at home against Whitefield Academy.
Yeah, I like that North Cobb Christian offense, man, with Teddy Jarrett back there, sophomore quarterback. Had a great season. Very well coached team. Tough place to play, man. If you never played at North Cobb Christian before, um, I'm gonna go with North Cobb Christian in this one. Wesleyan, 6-point favorites at Christian Heritage.
This is one that I kind of went back and forth on. I really like the way Christian Heritage played the second half of the year, especially. This Wesleyan team is traveling to Christian Heritage. It's it's going to be a packed house. Whatever. Uh, Obviously, it's a small place, not extremely huge. But I kind of want to pick Christian Heritage, but I don't know. I think I'm going to go with the spread, and here I am going against another Northwest Georgia football team. But if you're favored by 6 on the road, that kind of tells me you're probably somewhere around a 9 or 10 point favorite. I'm going to go with Westland and a close one, and I hope Christian Heritage wins, but I'm going to take the Wolves.
Man, I'm going with my heart here instead of my head. Probably, I think Wesleyan is probably the better team on paper. I like Carter Triplett and the guys, man, up there at home. I think they're going to get it done, man. I think they're going to pull it out. I like Christian Heritage in the close one.
I can see it.
Douglas County at Calhoun. Calhoun is a 1-point favorite.
Yeah, this is one of our tighter matchups as far as the seeding goes. Um, Calhoun has been that school that's kind of laid under. They played some tough games early in the year and lost some games. They were kind of peaking at the right time. They won last week with a little bit of a more of a struggle than I thought they would, but it is the playoffs. So we're not talking about you know terrible teams. Both of these teams come in 8-3. I think on paper Douglas may be the better team, but with them going to the Reeve, I'm going to take the Yellow Jackets. That place is going to be wild. I think it'll be busy, and I'm going to take Calhoun in a very close one. And I think this may be a you know 34, 35, 34, 28, 27 type game. I think it could come down to 2 point conversion or a field goal or something like that.
Yeah, Jake is right. It's not Douglas County, it's Douglas. But
Excuse
yeah,
me.
but the spread's right for Douglas. We got the spread for the Douglas Astros. Yeah, yeah. If it was Douglas County, they'd be a huge favorite. But
Excuse me.
yeah, I saw Douglas play in the Corky Kale. I think they're in the Corky Kale to start the season. Man, they got a lot of young players, a lot of young talent. Um, Pretty big offensive defensive line. I think Calhoun's about a year away, man, from competing for a state championship. Freshman quarterback, a lot of young guys on both sides of the ball. Man, I sound like a broken record picking against all these Northwest Georgia teams, man. If I'm right about all these, we're only going to have about one or two teams to talk about next week. But
I hear you.
I'm going to go with Douglas, man, on the road with the mild upset.
I hear you. I mean, like you said, it's a tough, it's a close game there. I think it's going to be a real close game there.
West Side Macon. at Rockmart. Rockmart a 10-point favorite.
Ranking wise, these teams are kind of close to each other, but record wise, it kind of fools you. Westside make it sitting there only at 6-5 to Rockmart's 9-2. Uh, Rockmart, we the two losses we know come to very talented teams, and you could say the same about this team as well. Losing to Bowden, they got beat by Bowden 56-27. They lost to Callaway, which is a pretty good squad. Um, I think I like Rockmart at home, and I think the 10 is about right. I'm going to go with the Yellow Jackets to move on to the next round.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to our previous game for a second. Calhoun, man, I tell you, a loss on their record. A loss on their record that doesn't look too bad right now is Cambridge.
Absolutely.
They lost to Cambridge, week 2 or 3, and everybody kind of raised their eyebrows a little bit, man. But you see now that wasn't a bad loss at all.
No.
Rockmart's quietly gone about taking care of business this year. They haven't been flashy, haven't blown a lot of people out, but they've got the job done. I think they'll move on to the quarterfinals. Ringgold, our upset team of the week from week 1, man. They upset Hart County as 7-point underdogs. Great defensive effort. They get to go to Carver Columbus this week. Carver Columbus, a 19-point favorite.
Yeah, and this is a team that puts up a lot of points and does not give up much. I mean, not much at all. Only gave up 71 points on the whole year, and we're in the second round, so in 11 games. 10-1 overall, 7-1 in their region. Max Scrubs has them as number 4 team in this class. I like Ringo. I like the two backs. I like the quarterback. I like their skill. I don't think they're going to be able to keep up with Carver on the road. I'm going to take Carver to win this one, probably about 2 or 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, they forced 3 turnovers last week against Hart County. Man, they're going to need more of the same this week against Carver. They're going to have to create some points. I don't think they can outscore Carver in a straight-up game. Man, they're going to have to get some turnovers. Tigers have had a great season, but yeah, I like Carver Columbus by 21.
Yeah. Sorry.
Jeff Davis at Fannin County. Fannin County, a 13-point favorite.
Yeah, there's been a lot of conversation, back and forth. A couple different people, you mentioned it a couple times that Jeff Davis quarterback is he can fly and he's got good size. He's a real deal. That team's pretty good team there. You know what Fannin brings to the table? They're going to play hard-nosed defense. They're going to move the ball just enough through the air, a lot on the ground. 2 of the state's leading rushers, 1 the quarterback, 1 the running back. I mean, they can do multiple things. They're going to play hard defense. It's going to be at Fannin. It's going to be freezing cold probably. There's going to be 1 million people there. It's probably a pretty long trip, I would guess, from Jeff Davis to Fannin. I think Fannin wins by the 2 touchdowns, but I would not be surprised if you see it stretch a little bit toward the end. I like Fannin in this one. I'll move on.
Yeah, I think it has the potential to be a tight game to start with. It would be surprised to look up after the first quarter and we're tied 7-7. But yeah, I mean, with all those factors in place, that Fannin crowd, I like Fannin by more than the 13. Elbert County at Heard County. Heard County, a 3-point favorite.
This may be one of the best matchups that we see that we've talked about. We talked about a few good ones. And I think this Elbert County team, I've seen them last year in the playoffs escape trying at San Martin McCain. They pulled a quote-unquote upset last week, scored 28 unanswered at Gordon Lee, going to Heard County. Heard's a 3-point favorite at home. Man, I tell you what, I'm going to go with Heard County, but something tells me Elbert's going to keep this one close, and they're going to be there in the end. But I'm going to take a Herd to win it. And I don't mind Charles's pick here, Herd by 8. I think that's pretty good. One touchdown.
Yeah, I think from just an overall competitive standpoint, man, this might be the best game on the schedule. I think
Yeah, I agree with you.
this is going to be a down to the last possession game for sure. I think the factor in this game is Ethan Tisdale, man. I got to looking at his stats for the first time this week. The sophomore quarterback for Heard County, over 3,000 yards this year with 40 touchdowns. Um,
Nice.
game changer for sure. They're at home. I like Heard, man. Temple loading up the buses and heading to Thomasville. Thomasville is a 26-point favorite.
Let me say one more thing before we get there. Javen Hickman. Javen Hickman, about 6'2", 230-pound quarterback. He's gonna make it tough on Hurd. He likes to run the QB. Uh, it's hard to stop him. He reminds me kind of a Tebow esque. If it's short yardage, he's going to pick it up. But like we said, I'm still going to pick Herd to win it. But next game, you said Temple at Thomasville.
Temple at Thomasville.
Thomasville is one of those teams that you don't want to play in just about any sport, basketball, football, you name it. Thomasville is favored for a reason here. I like Temple, and I like their skill, and I like the season that they've had, first ever home playoff win. They're the 10 seed, so I mean, pretty high seed there. Going to the 7 seed, I'm going to have to take Thomasville by a couple touchdowns here.
Yeah, we can't say enough, man. What a great job Coach Nix and Temple Tigers did this year, man, making history down there with that program. Man, I got to looking at Thomasville this week. Huge across the defensive line, huge at linebacker. Um, I like Thomasville. Trine Bulldogs making the long trip to Telfair County. Telfair is a 1-point favorite.
Yeah, Telfair number 1 seed out of that Region 4 down there. Um, I did some. I watched some highlights and some video on Telfair. Pretty good squad down there. I think it's going to be a heck of a battle. This is another one of those 3-1 matchups. We've been seeing some 3-1 matchups, and I like Trine's ability to throw the ball. I think they're fairly healthy right now. I like the quarterback run. Man, last game, you better come up with a way to stop uh, uh, Big Logan Stokes because he really he went off last game with receiving, played on defense, had a couple touchdowns, just did about everything for trying, and they've got some receivers that can go get it too with Willingham and another couple guys outside. Uh, I think this may be a shootout here, kind of like the last game against Schley. Trying's not afraid to go 4 or 5 hours away and put up a battle. So I tell you what, I'm going to go with my upset pick of the week, even though it's only a low spread. I'm going to take the Trine Bulldogs to win here in the second round and move on to the third round.
Yeah, I think traveling back-to-back weeks might help them, man. They got that out of the way last week. They know they can go on the road and compete. They're not going to be shocked this week hopping on the bus and traveling 4 hours. The key is going to be stopping that Telfair run game. I think they're going to run probably 95% of the time.
Yeah.
If Trine can stop them, I think Trine gets the win here, and I'm gonna go with the Bulldogs, man, to advance to the quarterfinals.
All right.
Bowden on the road this week. 2 seed Bowden, 6-point favorites at Metter.
This is one game it was the last on the list, so it's one game I really haven't took a look at. Is it just me, or Metter used to be a bigger school? I mean,
I think,
have they always been a small school?
yeah, I think they've always been an A, the
Oh, okay.
smallest
Well,
A.
maybe it's a different team than what I'm thinking of then. But I wanted to take a look at their schedule and everything. They're 10-1, went 8-0 in that Region 3 down there, scored a bunch of points. Uh, won winners of 9 straight, going against Bowden here. Looking at
Who
who they
who was their only loss to?
their loss was early in the year to Swainsboro, 37-14. They have wins over just no teams around here. Scraven County, Bryan County, Emmanuel County Institute, Hawkinsville, which is normally a power. I don't know how they are this year, but I can't pick against Bowden. I think Bowden's going to have too much, even though it's on the road. Um, Give me Bowden by 10. Bowden wins by about 10 and moves on to the next round.
I'm going with our 2024 Pickem winner here, man. Mr. Folds was our overall Pickem champ.
Okay.
I think Bowden and Manchester, man, are destined to meet in the bins. I think they're both on a roll right now. I like Bowden. I think it's going to be close. I think Metter might score some points, but I'm gonna go Bowden by 15 in this one.
Bowden by 15.
Bowden by 15.
I like it. And that concludes our round 2 games. That's all 15 matchups. I think we might have picked 1 or 2 North Georgia teams.
Yeah, we'll be back on Friday night, hopefully, man, with the scoreboard show. Get you caught up on all these games, and hopefully we'll have about 15 teams to talk about next week, man. That'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah. I like to see at least 8 or 10 double figures would be great, because that means that about 5 people upset. But we're looking to buy our tickets to the Dome and go watch the Northwest Georgia teams, and be able to not get rained on and not freeze, and watch the ball game. Thank you, GHSA.
Absolutely. All right, guys, we'll see you back here Friday night.